Welcome back to the channel. DRSN here. In today's debate, we'll be talking about Dwyane Wade versus Clyde Drexler. So today's debate is one that doesn't get discussed nearly enough. Clyde Drexler versus Dwyane Wade, both are among the greatest shooting guards in NBA history, but they reached greatness in different ways. Throughout this lecture, we'll compare their play styles, their individual accomplishments, their statistical production, their longevity and impact on winning before deciding who's the greater player and the better player. In my final verdict, I'll give that conclusion. Let's begin with how each player actually played the game. Clyde Drexler, nicknamed the Glide, was one of the greatest transition players ever. He relied on elite athleticism, long strides, and explosive finishes around the basket. He wasn't just a scorer either. He was an excellent rebounder for the shooting guard position and a very capable playmaker who could initiate the offense. Dwyane Wade, on the other hand, was one of the most complete two-way guards of his generation. So, like Glide, he excelled at attacking the rim, but Wade was a more polished shot creator in the half-court set. He developed a reliable mid-range game. He's also one of the best shot-blocking guards ever, and consistently, he made an impact defensively. Both players lived in the paint despite not being elite three-point shooters, but Wade's overall offensive polish and defensive impact, so playing both sides of the floor, gives him a slight edge as the more complete player. So you can watch a highlight reel of Dwyane Wade dunking on Anderson Varejao in the Heat versus Cavs in the 2000s. You can watch it. They have clips of that on YouTube, like he posterized Varejao. Looking at accomplishments, both players built Hall of Fame careers. Clyde Drexler is a 10-time All-Star, made 5 All-NBA teams. He won NBA championship with the Rockets in 1995 and was selected to both the Dream Team and the NBA Top 75 Anniversary Team, so he's a Top 75 player. Dwyane Wade's resume is even stronger in that he won 3 chips, including a Finals MVP in 2006, after one of the greatest Finals performances in league history. Wade earned 13 All-Star selections. He made 3 defensive teams, and he won a scoring title in 2009. And he's also a top 75 player. So they're both top 75 players. They both have Olympic gold. I'm not going to mention that because we're talking strictly the NBA. While Drexler's resume is outstanding, Dwyane Wade is simply, he accumulated more individual honors, and he has more team success, and he has more individual accolades. So I'll give the nod to Wade here. Statistically, these two players are remarkably similar. Drexler averaged over 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists for his career, while providing excellent rebounding and steals from the shooting guard position. Wade averaged slightly more points while maintaining similar assist numbers and adding elite rim protection for the shooting guard, averaging nearly 1 block per game throughout both regular season and playoffs. In the postseason, Wade's scoring remained elite, while Drexler continued to contribute across the board as both a scorer and a facilitator. Overall, Wade holds a slightly statistical advantage, particularly as a scorer, so it's a slight advantage. It's not like he blows him out the park. In terms of longevity, both the players enjoyed long careers, so both players were elite. I mentioned here, for 12 seasons, both players were elite. When I mean elite, I mean they were minimum all-star or they were putting up good numbers. But even though Dwyane Wade played one more extra season, he entered the league and he retired at an older age. He entered the league at age 22, and Clyde Drexler entered the age at age 21. But why Wade managed to score 1,000 more points? So we're talking about longevity. More deep, we're going into the cumulative regular season stats. While Wade managed to score about 1,000 more total points due to higher scoring average, Drexler's physical durability allowed him to play more regular season games, so he compiled more overall career counting numbers in almost every other category. So Drexler beats him in rebounds, assists, steals, and games played. Wade only has more total points because of his scoring average I mentioned and his blocks. Dwyane Wade is one of the greatest guards for shot blocking. Impact on winning regular season. So let's examine their impact during the regular season. Drexler transformed Portland into one of the NBA's elite teams, leading the Trailblazers to multiple 60-win seasons and to final appearances during the early 1990s. He also finished second in MVP voting in 1992 behind Jordan. So he gets overshadowed by Jordan, but he was also a good shooting guard in that era. Guys like him, Mitch Richmond and Drazen Petrovic, nobody talks about anymore, but they were underrated. They were good players. Wade's regular season impact is equally impressive, in that he established Miami as a perennial contender, winning a scoring title, as I mentioned before, consistently finishing among the league's best players in MVP voting. So he has more MVP finishes than Drexler. He doesn't have the regular season team success, so Drexler was on teams with more 60-win seasons. So while Drexler led to more 60-win teams, so his team success was more Drexler's. Wade's overall peak as an individual player gives him a slight edge because he finished top 5 in MVP votes. That 2009 season Dwyane Wade had is like one of the greatest seasons for a player not to win MVP, because he won the scoring title. I think he's averaging 30 points on a high proficiency. He was proficient too. Impact on winning. So we'll talk about the playoffs. We'll talk about the bright spots for both players. So let's start with Clyde Drexler. The postseason is where legends are made. Clyde Drexler led Portland to NBA Finals as the undisputed first option in the 1990 Finals and the 1992 Finals. He later won a championship after joining the Rockets alongside Hakeem Olajuwon. His 1992 playoff run is one of the best by a shooting guard during that era. So the 1992 playoffs, in the first round, he beat the Lakers with James Worthy, AC Green, Byron Scott. The second round, he beat the Suns with Dan Marley, Tom Chambers, and Jeff Hornacek. And then in the Western Conference Finals for the 92 playoff run, he beat Malone, Stockton, Jeff Malone. He eventually lost to Jordan's Bulls. He wasn't going to beat Jordan because Jordan, he was the best shooting guard in the era, and Drexler was right behind him. In terms of the 1990 NBA Finals run, he beat the Mavericks for Orlando Blackman and Derek Harper. Then he beat David Robinson, who won Rookie of the Year that year, Terry Cummings, and Sean Elliott. Then he beat the Suns in the Western Conference Finals with Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers, and Jeff Hornacek. He lost in 1990 to the Bad Boy Pistons, I believe. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas. He lost to a good team. So he ran into the juggernauts in the finals. But he led Portland to the finals, so you got to give him credit for that. Portland's a low-market Western Conference team. He won a championship with Houston, so he won with Hakeem. He was the second option, I believe, in my opinion. And he averaged 25 during his points per game during the 1992 playoff run. So statistical production was good too. Let's move on to Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade, he delivered one of the greatest finals performances in NBA history during the 2006 NBA Finals. the Miami Heat Dwyane Wade came back down 0-2, where he averaged nearly 35 points per game. He carried the Heat to 4 consecutive victories and the franchise's first championship. Wade would later win 2 more championships during the Miami Heat Big Three era, LeBron and Chris Bosh. So both players elevated their games in the playoffs, but Wade's 2006 finals run, it has a lot of weight, and that's one of the defining postseason performances in NBA history. The 2006 final run is similar to Jordan's finals runs. So he won one championship as the first option. Shaq was the second option on those Heat teams, and he won 2 as the second option to LeBron, where Chris Bosh was the third option. So he did win as the number 1 option, which Drexler doesn't have, but that's okay. And let's talk about his finals run. Dwyane Wade's finals run. In 2006 particularly, he beat the Bulls in the first round with Ben Gordon, Luol Deng, and Tyson Chandler. Beat the Nets in the second round with Vince Carter, Jason Kidd, and Richard Jefferson. In the Western Conference Finals, he beat the Pistons with Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince. That Pistons team was good. I think Larry Brown was the coach. Great coach, underrated coach. And then in the finals, he beat Dirk Nowitzki's Mavs. In his 2012 finals run, his championship run, he beat Melo's Knicks, Paul George and Danny Granger's Pacers, Big Three Celtics, and the OKC Thunder with KD and Westbrook. The 2013 finals run, he beat Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, a young Kawhi Leonard. Not all-time great. No all-time great has a perfect resume. So despite leading Portland to 2 finals, Drexler was unable to win a championship as the clear number 1. I mentioned this in the last slide. His championship came after joining a already established Rockets team led by Olajuwon. So the team, they already won a title before Olajuwon got there. Before Clyde got there, they already won a ring. This was when Jordan's first retirement. He's overshadowed by Jordan, yeah. So I mentioned this earlier, but Mitch Richmond, Draws, and Petrov, a lot of the guards, they get overshadowed because they didn't win. In terms of Dwyane Wade, he got swept in the first round. So Dwyane Wade, he got swept by the Bulls, the team he beat in the first round in the previous year. They got the revenge 4-2 after winning the title. I think the core, Alonzo Mourning, I believe, they had Shaq. The core that won the first title in 2006, the Heat's first title, they got old. And Shaq eventually left the team. He joined the Suns. But he missed the playoffs in 08 due to injuries. And his peak could have been longer, but he declined early because of chronic knee issues. So these criticisms don't erase their accomplishments, but they're important when evaluating the careers. So after comparing every category, here's my final verdict. In terms of accolades and individual accomplishments, the edge goes to Wade because he has more all-star selections. He made a defensive team. Made defensive teams. In terms of statistical productions, also favors Wade, although the gap isn't big here because Drexler has more all-around stats, but Wade has better point averages. I think he's a more versatile scorer, I believe. They both were athletic, but Wade, I think he's a leader for blocks in terms for shooting guards. He leads NBA history in total blocks for shooting guards. He's number 1. I think Jordan's number 2. So I'll give Wade here, but in terms of longevity, I'll give Clyde Drexler because he has more total regular season games played. He has more total assists, rebounds, steals because he has more total rebounds because his size is 6'7". He's bigger than Wade. But in terms of impact on winning in regular season and playoffs, is Dwyane Wade, because because of that two because Wade because of that 2006 finals run where he won as the first option, and he won. We shouldn't discount his 2012 and 2013 finals where he played well. He was a two-way player. He's a more complete player than Clyde Drexler. So in my final verdict, I'm gonna say Dwyane Wade's the greater player, and he should be ranked higher in the all-time list when compared to Clyde Drexler. But Clyde Drexler, unquestionably one of the greatest shooting guards ever, and is often underrated in all-time discussions. So these comparisons were researched using Basketball Reference, StatMoose, NBA.com. I looked at historical game footage too, and other publicly available basketball database info, so stats. Links to the sources are included in the slide deck. The slide deck will also be provided in the YouTube description. Thanks for watching this basketball lecture. If you enjoyed this comparison, let me know in the comments who you think had a better career and why. Also, leave suggestions for future player comparisons you'd like to see covered on this channel. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next basketball lecture.